Over the last 3 years, Guy Martin has bagged himself an extraordinary collection of speed records on road, sand, snow, and water. And earlier this year, live in front of millions of Channel 4 viewers, he became the fastest person ever to ride a wall of death.
78! He hasn't just broken the record, he's absolutely smashed it.
Guy's next challenge is his fastest yet. It'll take place here on this highway across the Nevada desert, where Guy wants to compete in the fastest road race in the world.
Only in America, eh? Only in America. I don't think there's a catch on in groups.
For one day in May each year, this 90-mile stretch of State Route 318 in the Nevada desert is closed to the public and becomes a racetrack for the Nevada Open Road Challenge. Started in 1988, Guinness say it's the fastest road race in the world. In the 2012 event, former racing driver Jim Peruto, in his modified NASCAR, set a record for the highest speed ever achieved, covering the whole 90-mile course at an average speed of 217.557 miles per hour.
Wow, yeah. That was insane.
There are no crash barriers on any part of the course, and the race is considered too dangerous for spectators. Amazingly, all drivers survived these crashes with minor injuries, but over the years, the race has claimed 5 lives. When he competes here, Guy will be going up against a stunning array of powerful supercars. But he wants to enter in a vehicle that's never been seen in the race before. A Ford Transit van. His Transit van.
I love the idea, I love the idea. How fast can you get a transit van to go? We just will be mint when it go to America with a transit van.
What are we getting?
Everything's possible, everything's possible.
Cheers, boss.
Guy's brought his van to Crazy Horse Customs in Bury St Edmunds to meet the team who'll hopefully help him turn his 3-year-old Transit into a world-beating racer.
It's the poshest place, isn't it? There's 2 showrooms, all the gear in here, all the workshops, everything's mint.
Now, mate. You all right, mate? How's it going, boy?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, all right, mate. There's some tackling here, mate.
Paul Beamish is the boss and has put all of Crazy Horse's resources at Guy's disposal.
We do make some money, we do pay some wages, but everyone here is an enthusiast. This is an enthusiast business.
It's just his passion for the whole custom scene, and I just think it's bloody great.
So you got the job of putting a clutch in it then?
Ain't too bad, actually, yeah.
Dan Sims is a tuning genius who'll be chief mechanic on the project.
I've just always been into cars, always been into taking things apart and putting them back together again.
We spent a long time trying to find the right people to come in here. So Dan's built his own cars, he's been involved in tuning cars, he fits in.
And Stuart Eckersley is the ideas man and a bit of a speed freak.
I like making things produce a lot of power.
Knows his stuff. Yeah, he's got the vision. That's what we need. The vision. We need the vision.
Right, well, we've got my
We've got your Transit.
Come and have a look.
And as if turning a used Transit into a high-spec racer isn't enough of a challenge, there's one other little problem the team will need to address.
I had a bit of a prang about 2 months ago.
You have got a ding in the side.
Yeah, there was a slight mark on this door. That's the only mark I had on it. And then, Paul,
What?
you see
And what have we
this?
got?
Yeah, that's the problem, boys. A bit of an argument with a car transport.
A car transport?
Yeah. It was my fault. My fault, but another bloke did exactly the same straight after me. I hit it, bounced off, went to the other side of the road. Another bloke's gone straight after me. Straight after me. What a game.
Gutted. Love that van.
Guy has driven everywhere in this van for the last 3 years. He eats, sleeps, and lives in it.
It is just a van, but it's my van. It's my van. It's my transit van. It's done just short of 100,000 miles. Still on original brake pads though.
Even when he wrote it off, he couldn't bear to be parted from it.
I bought it back off the insurance company for 900 quid.
You were robbed.
You what? You what? 2 new back tyres on it. What do you reckon?
Obviously, if we've got to build something that's going to go fast, we've got to make sure the chassis is going in a straight line.
Yeah.
A vehicle's chassis is its main supporting structure, to which all other components are attached. If Guy's van chassis is bent, it's as good as scrap.
I think we need to get some people to look at it who repair chassis and bodywork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those people are Baker Bodycraft, who'll assess just how bad the damage is and whether they can repair it.
Unwrite it off, if that's unwriter-offable.
Get everything off, then it's not going to look as bad.
Oh, it'll look better.
It'll look better.
yeah,
It'll look better
right.
when everything's all off. It won't look as scary, and then it'll be getting some new panels and putting them on.
I like to see that's how you deal with things like that.
Just panels.
You're not drying your teeth.
No.
That's it.
While the Baker boys assess the van's damage, Guy and the Crazy Horse team sit down to plan what they need to do to it if and when it's repaired. And with just 5 months before Guy needs to be on the starting line in Nevada, the challenges facing the team are massive.
I think we've got a lot more to worry about than bears in the road. You don't have bears out in Nevada, or do you? I don't know. Well, we've got loads more stuff to worry about. A lot of work.
They must work out how to make a vehicle with the aerodynamic profile of a housebreak cut through the air as efficiently as possible. Make it handle like a racing car. Make it go a lot faster than its current top speed of 102 miles per hour. And they must work out how to keep it cool in the searing heat of a desert.
Aerodynamics, suspension, engine, turbos, seating, dash controls. That's just endless. The list is endless in it. What to do to this van.
And on top of all that, Guy's key role in the project will be as the driver.
Right. Thank you very much.
Racing in the Nevada Open Road Challenge is more complicated than just blasting across the desert with your foot flat to the floor. The race is a time trial, and the aim for competitors is to drive the course at the perfect average speed for their class. Guy's hoping to enter the 150 miles per hour class, which means trying to drive the whole 90-mile course at a perfect average speed of 150. And that equates to finishing in a time of exactly 36 minutes. If Guy's going to stand a chance of being on the podium in Nevada, he'll need to master the art of maintaining a perfect average speed in a race car. This is a Radical RXC, a £165,000 sports car made in Britain, capable of nearly 200 miles per hour. Today, Guy's using it to practice the fundamental skill required for the Nevada road race.
We're going to have a go around here just to see if I can stick to an average speed, because I have never done that before in anything I've ever done.
But he's also very interested in its engine. It uses a 3.5-litre V6 with twin turbochargers. It's a Ford engine, and it would fit in a Transit.
Oh, I like to be at one with my engines, if that's the right way of putting it. Not in that sort of way, but, you know, what a day.
Helping Guy acclimatise to the machine will be 21-year-old racing driver and head of the Radical test team, James Abbott.
You do know I don't know what I'm doing. You do know that, don't you?
Yeah.
And these boys have told you, I genuinely do not know what I'm doing.
Right. Steering wheel, 2 pedals.
Yeah?
Build it up from there.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I'll take my wallet. So what should I do? So I'll put my... Yeah. When you're in, aren't you? Yeah? Just press start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go, we're away.
Guy can now unleash the 500 horsepower beast.
Oh, heck. Sorry, mate.
The turbocharged V6 takes this car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds.
Bloody hell, it does go, doesn't it?
There's so much power that anything other than the smoothest acceleration makes the car lose traction.
Bloody hell. She's a bit wild.
And if you're not quick enough to correct a slide with the steering wheel,
Whoa.
you spin.
Okay.
You're slippy.
Yeah. Bugger.
Once Guy's got used to the radical, it's time to practice hitting an average speed. James will act as navigator and relay information from a GPS timer displayed on the dashboard.
So just for reference, this number here, that's your predictive lap as we're going around.
Oh,
so that's
yes.
going to update on what lap time you'll do as you're going to do it. Okay, so if I keep updating you on that time.
Yeah.
In Nevada, Guy's ambition is to enter his van in the 150 miles per hour class. But here, for his first ever practice, the challenge is to complete 10 laps at an average speed of 50 miles per hour. That should mean crossing the line in exactly 11 minutes 30, not a second more, not a second less.
Right, it starts now.
Okay, started.
Just like in the Nevada race, the navigator tells Guy how close he is to the perfect speed.
First lap, we're a bit quick. Need to lose some. 2 seconds. We're 4 tenths down. We need to find some speed. That's perfect. Stay on that.
It's monumentally difficult and requires total concentration to keep making the subtle speed corrections.
6 tenths too fast. 5 tenths too fast. 4 tenths too fast. 3 tenths too fast. We're 2 tenths too slow.
Bloody hell.
That's 10 minutes now. We've got 1 more lap.
Where are we now?
We're on 10:20. So we need a 1:10 from you. 20 seconds left. Looks like we're going to coast home. 10 seconds. 5. Need to get to the line. 11:32.
Bloody hell, it's tight, isn't it?
It's tight. It's crazy. You get that little bit down and you think we're going to get some time back.
Yeah.
And then you don't. Before you know it, you're too far ahead.
Yeah.
Guy ended up 2 seconds over his target time. In Nevada, 2 seconds would be a disaster.
Well, it was a country mile off. Last year's 150 mile an hour class, if I was 1 second off, I'd have been dead last. 1 second off. It is going to be a bit more awkward than we thought. A bit tougher than we thought. But it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's all in hand. It's in hand. I do like the car, though.
He likes the car, and he really likes its engine.
It's great. What a piece of kit. What a piece of kit. Put that in a van.
Thankfully, there will be a van to put it in. Word from the body shop is that the chassis is undamaged, and they have started work on repairs. Guy and his favourite Transit are looking good for a trip to Nevada. Guy Martin wants to race in the Nevada Open Road Challenge, the fastest road race in the world. It's a 90-mile blast along Highway 318 north of Las Vegas. But he wants to compete in a vehicle not built for speed. His Ford Transit van. The Transit van has been an icon of the British road since it first appeared in the 1960s. It came about after company boss Henry Ford Jr. discovered that his British and German divisions were building totally separate vans.
Similar looking thing out there, but completely different. Not one part matches, nothing matches. It's a 59, Henry Ford came up and said, hey, look here, boys, look here. You're both building two completely different things to do the same job. Why not unite and build one thing together?
The two divisions worked together on the design. Both went into production, and the Ford Transit Mark I was eventually launched in 1965.
It drives all right.
But although the British and German versions looked identical, they didn't share a single component.
We were stuck in a rut and building stuff on imperial standard. UNC and UNF and Whitworth. And why so complicated to use that? Whereas the Germans were using the simple metric system. So when the Transit first existed, there was the same van, but the ones built in Germany were metric. In the UK were imperial. From the first Transit in 65 until 94, 95. And that was the very first year that the German Transit was the same as the UK Transit. It took all that time.
This is the oldest Transit that Ford know about, 1965. It's a bold statement, the oldest Transit in existence.
It was front-engined, which created more load space and better handling.
Self-cancelling indicators. Nice a treat.
It was wider than previous vans and had a sliding side door.
Oh no, a bit too optimistic with Ford here.
But most importantly, because it weighed under a ton, you didn't need a commercial vehicle license to drive it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a Model T or something, you know, you have to be all hands on deck. Oh, it seems all right.
Mark I Transits sold in their thousands, and the most popular colour was white.
All the days before air conditioning, kept the van cool and kept everyone inside cool, so that was the reason for the white van man, yeah. Yeah, you could use them for out, like there. Look, you can put out on the back there, you see. Camper van, tipper, flatbed, a minibus. And then they used the same chassis for Chitty Chitty Gangbang. Here you go, boy. Yeah. Yeah, and then Chitty Chitty Gangbang.
Bang bang.
Bang bang. What did I say?
You said bang.
I didn't. Chitty Chitty Gangbang. Yeah, so yeah, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was a tranny. And robbers, Scotland Yard. Yeah, that was the most wanted van, was a transit van. Yeah, 95% of armed robberies use a transit van. That's what Scotland Yard reckons. So that's some going, that, isn't it?
Since 1965, over 7 million transit vans have been sold, and one owner remembers every single one he's driven.
My first work van was WG06DDF. From then, I worked at Moody's, where we had V8 MUU, Transit Sport Mark 7. After that, FT13 AFK, which was my van. I treat them all as if I'm going to keep them forever. I wax oil them, oil the door, and just service them too regularly, because I love them. I love them. It's my transit. We've all had transit experiences at some point. It's the best tool to do the job. Yeah, you sling your gear in the van. No one gives a monkeys, do they? Sling it in a transit. Oh, it's only a van. My bloody girlfriend put a dint in the back of my transit. And she said, it's only a van. What are you worried about? I said, this is the way you're worried. Oh, it's only a van. No. Me and my van. A man and his van. And that's what I say, it's a man and his van.
At the body shop, repairs to the van are finally finished.
Bloody hell, I've had some work on.
And
You've had some work on.
It's taken 2 months to get it back to standard. Now they can finally start work on converting this commercial vehicle into a supervan. At Safety Devices in Suffolk, experts in creating bespoke roll cages for motorsports and military vehicles, they scan the inside of the van and produce a 3D computer model.
What are you doing? Pressing the button every time?
Pressing the button every time.
And it's registering the position?
It picks up a three-dimensional point in space.
They then use that to design the van's roll cage.
Actual working on it is going to be 3 to 4 days, I would say.
All right.
Yeah, it would normally be a bit longer than that, but you know you're on a schedule with it, so yeah, putting the
Yeah, we're
tubes
going to be a
together.
bit hard pushed.
Yeah.
So what's that now? 2 months, 8 weeks?
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
4 days, is it? 8 weeks, 4 days.
8 weeks, 4 days.
And we've got to test it as well.
And test it.
Now they cut.
Spot on.
Bend.
Yeah.
Just like that.
That's it.
That is trick, isn't it?
Finish. And finally weld the 2-inch motorsport grade steel tubing into Guy's van. In total, a massive 50 metres of tube will be used to create a full FIA race spec roll cage. A week later, with the roll cage finished, the van is back at Crazy Horse. Chief Engineer Dan uprates the suspension with bigger, stiffer shock absorbers to improve high-speed handling. But as it's a one-off prototype, no one knows how safe it'll actually be at speed.
The question is, how do you test drive a van that's never been built? Well, you don't, do you? You don't. You have to build it first and then you can test it. It's quite simple.
There is a way to test it though, virtually. And it means a visit to an advanced engineering firm in Bicester, Oxfordshire.
You boys knew someone that knew someone. They knew someone at Worth Engineering. And that's what they do. They simulate vehicles. They do a lot for the Indy cars, a lot for Le Mans racing.
They've built one of the most advanced simulators in the country. It cost £1 million. Sits on 6 electric rams, uses a 3D screen, and is controlled by 11 liquid-cooled computers. Rob Rousel and Adam Carter are the engineers behind it who have agreed to build Guy's van digitally.
We have access to 40 teraflops of computing power.
We're applying top level technology to this problem.
They put all the numbers of the transit van, the weight, the height, geometry, the wheel width, the suspension stiffness, everything. They'd mapped it all. They even mapped it underneath. So they knew where the airflow was going to be. And then they just said, right, rather than having 155 horsepower, we're going to give you 650 horsepower and see how you get on with that. And that's what we did.
Once aboard, it's on with the 3D goggles.
What we does for Pet Shop Boys. My dog's a big fan of those.
And performance engineer Holly Watson-Niall starts the simulation.
Okay, here we go.
Cheers.
Now Guy can see if his van is a race winner or a death trap.
Oh, heck.
It was a disaster.
Can I have another go, please?
As soon as you come out of a corner, you just apply a little bit of throttle. The next thing, whoop, that's it. I was looking the other way. Wild. And that just proved the point that that van is not designed to deal with 650 horsepower.
Before crashing, Guy's virtual van had managed to hit 151 miles per hour. But the aerodynamic data shows how chaotic the airflow was all around the vehicle, particularly underneath.
That was what was causing a lot of the problems. It was creating turbulence and lift.
The lift greatly reduces the grip of the tyres, and that's why the van spins so easily at speed. Rob and Adam modify the van's shape virtually to try and cure the instability.
So we'll put the air down on the front, stop the air going underneath,
Right.
try and push it around the sides.
Yeah, right,
and then
yes.
the side skirts, then once it's pushed around the sides, stop the air getting entrained back underneath.
Yeah, get cracking, boys. Get cracking.
Ooh.
I think I've moved one of your cameras, boy. Hang on. I smacked it with my Swede.
Press the button. Right, go and test that.
Okay, I'll get you going.
Cheers.
Better. I think before I managed 2 corners without crashing, and I think this time I must have managed 10 corners without crashing.
It's a van, you're going to have to brake earlier than the first one. Okay.
Noted.
The new front and sides reduce the turbulent airflow under the van, improve handling, and mean Guy could go 8 miles per hour quicker. But things are still not perfect.
When I came to the brakes,
just went. Yeah. But we need to put some grip in it and put some stability in it. So
how do you go about doing that?
Well, if we look at putting a wing on the back, we'll generate some downforce, generate some grip. So it should create some stability.
So I went in the simulator again. Spot on. The van wasn't perfect. You still knew you was driving a van. It was still, you know, big, wallowy-ish. But it's a van. It's a van. But it was bloody fast. Loads better. Loads better. Yeah, day and night. It's still wild, but it's doing what I want it to do. It goes where I want it to go. It's magic.
There's just one trade-off. The wing creates downforce, but it also creates drag. The van is now a more awkward shape to push through the air, so the top speed is down by 3 miles per hour. That's a small price to pay, though, for a vehicle that can now be driven without crashing.
So what we've learned there, we need the front dam.
Yep. Side skirts.
Side skirts.
And the rear wing.
And definitely the rear wing. Thank you very much. I think you've saved us a lot of grief and heartache.
Some of the new parts will have to be manufactured, but Guy leaves with the rear wing there and then. It was last used on a Le Mans winning car. Now he hopes it's going to be part of the first van ever to enter the world's fastest road race. As a motorcycle racer, Guy Martin's fastest ever average lap speed at the Isle of Man TT is 132.398 miles per hour. His next race is across the Nevada desert and requires an average speed of 150 miles per hour. And Guy wants to do it in his 3-year-old transit van. But with race day getting closer, the van is still a long way from being finished. Chief Engineer Dan has converted it to rear-wheel drive. Almost every purpose-built racing car is rear-wheel drive, for 2 very good reasons. Firstly, for handling. With front-wheel drive, all the weight, the engine, the gearbox and the transmission is at the front. This makes it very nose-heavy. With rear-wheel drive, this weight is much more evenly distributed throughout the vehicle, making it much better balanced and improving handling. Power delivery is also better with rear-wheel drive. When you accelerate, a vehicle's weight shifts backwards. With front-wheel drive, this reduces grip on the wheels which are trying to put the power down. With rear-wheel drive, it improves grip where the power's delivered, and that means better, faster, and more efficient power delivery. But in Guy's van, there's still a gap where that power should be coming from. His van needs an engine. For that, Guy's come to Peterborough, home of British sports car manufacturer Radical. They are renowned engine tuners, and when they lent Guy one of their race cars to practice in, he was most impressed by its engine.
Lovely looking thing though, isn't it? If you're into engines.
In its basic form, it's a 3.5-litre V6 with twin turbochargers, normally found in American transit vans.
But it only does about 350 horsepower. Not enough to get our transit to do 160 mile an hour. Definitely not enough. We need more power.
For their race cars, Radical can increase this engine's output to 500 horsepower, but Guy wants even more than that. Firstly, more petrol will be pumped into the engine by adding more fuel injectors.
You see, 3 either side, 6 extra injectors. It's going to replace that plastic thing there. That's the original one. Extra fuel, more power.
Next, larger turbochargers will be fitted. These use the energy of the exhaust gases to pump more air into the engine.
You see, to the size, massive. It's massive.
problem is that with the engine working harder, it will get hotter, and if it overheats, it can seize up completely. So the water pump also needs an upgrade.
That goes on there. You see?
The pump circulates water through the engine to cool it. The hotter the engine, the more water that's needed to keep it cool.
This water pump here only passes 80 litres a minute. You see, we're going to need more like 180 litres a minute to keep it cool.
The impeller, which spins to circulate water, needs to be bigger and stronger.
I'm going to have a go at making one, yeah. Is this in the state of my fingers?
The new impeller starts life as a solid piece of aluminium. It's bolted into a CNC machine, which will follow a preset program and automatically carve the bigger impeller.
Computer numeric control. That's what that stands for. CNC. Which, to make that there, is like 30,000 lines of code. It blows my mind all that. Oh, I just think that's the best thing in the world, that. The best thing in the world.
After an hour's work, the piece is ready.
It's exciting. That's bloody beautiful.
Now it's time to see if the upgrades deliver more power. The new injectors and turbochargers have been fitted, and Guy attaches his uprated water pump. The engine has been plumbed into a dyno, a machine which will run the engine and analyse its output.
Traditional measurement, I think, is brake horsepower. That's always the pub number, isn't it? Get everything loaded up and then let her have it. A bit more than 350 horsepower, isn't it? 600 would be nice, 700 would be even better.
The result? The engine that produced 350 horsepower as standard now makes 692.
That is fair going. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, that's going to be mega, isn't it? That is going to be mega in a transit van.
So nearly twice as much power than it had originally. A good day's work. Can't wait to get it in a van and give it a go.
Back at Crazy Horse Customs, the race is on to get the van finished. Dan installs the new engine. Two massive fuel tanks are bolted in the back. Bigger brakes and lightweight wheels are fitted. The fully assembled rear wing is bolted to the rear doors. It has to be strong enough to withstand 300 kilograms of downforce, so it's tested thoroughly. Then the front air dam, made entirely from lightweight carbon fibre, is added. The Black Beast is looking good, but with just 3 weeks left to race day, the to-do list doesn't seem to be getting any smaller.
Yeah, we're at Bruntingthorpe, waiting for a transit. She's, yeah, I think she's been causing a few problems. 4 o'clock this morning, there was at it till, and they're going to bring the van here by, what time? About dinner time, about 12 o'clock. And hopefully we can take it for a few laps. But what day are we on? We're on, what are we on? Thursday. Thursday, yeah, and it goes to America next week. Goes to America on Tuesday. So we're cutting it a bit fine. The van genuinely has not turned a wheel. It has not turned a wheel. This is it. This is it. This is it. Still no sign of the transit. The rain's meant to be coming at 3 o'clock as well. So. Snowing? Is it snow? The snow's coming in. Yeah.
Over lunch, Guy's told the van now won't be arriving until 4 p.m.
It's all made up, this. You've just got pictures. You're teasing me with pictures. That's what they're saying. There is no such thing as this van, is there? So this is it, really. this is the last chance we've got to drive the Shanny. I just need to get the feel for the thing. Fingers crossed. Oh, she's here. She's on the back of her van. Bloody hell.
Finally, with just 1 hour of track time left, the van arrives.
Bloody hell, piece of kit. She ready to go?
With a storm on the way, the race is on to get it ready for testing.
All right.
There's not even time to fit the front air dam.
You feel me still in the side.
With just 4 days left before the van must fly to the States, if anything major goes wrong, the whole project ends here. Amazingly, on his first run with Radical test driver Roger Green alongside him, Guy clocks up 140 miles per hour.
Sounds a treat, doesn't it?
There are plenty of issues though. The engine doesn't appear to be getting enough fuel despite the new fuel injectors.
I'd like a fuel shortage, so we'll run it.
The handling isn't great.
Lot of body roll. But yeah, it's the first time it's been out. Bloody hell.
And most worryingly, every time Guy changes into sixth gear, he's losing a lot of power and has to drop straight back down to fifth. This is critical because the van will need to be in sixth gear for nearly all of the race in the States. But before they have time to address any problems, heavy rain stops testing. The team will now have to work round the clock to sort out the sixth gear issue.
It's just bogging when you go into sixth. There's a big gap. We're losing 2,000 revs when you go from fifth to sixth, which is just dropping it out of the power van. It's dropping it off the boot.
The next time Guy sees his van will be in America. Guy Martin is flying to Las Vegas to meet up with his modified transit van, which he wants to drive in the world's fastest road race. His van was shipped over to the States 2 days ago, but when Guy arrives at Sam's Town Hotel, the Las Vegas base for the Nevada Open Road Challenge, he finds out things aren't going according to plan.
We're here. We've made it. We've made it. Yeah, we've no van as yet.
While the van is in America, it's 2 hours away from Guy at Radical's US workshop. The project's chief mechanic, Dan Sims from Crazy Horse Customs, and a team of race engineers are working against the clock to try and fix the sixth gear issues identified in the UK test. Things aren't going well though.
She's ringing, mate. She's ringing.
Hello.
Any joy, mate? What's she looking like?
Yeah, well, we're...
You're still on the floor?
Yeah, it's still on the floor. We're nearly there. The fact that there's been so little time to test and develop this van prior to the race is just... It's been quite a big challenge to just sort of second guess what it's going to do.
Hey, thanks very much. Keep out. Cheers, mate.
Thanks very much.
See you then. See you, mate. Bye. Bye.
As a competitor, Guy must now stay in Vegas for driver registration, and he's frustrated.
I'm just jealous of Dan. I'd have rather been in their position getting stuck in doing the job. But I want my cake and I want to eat it because I want to drive it as well.
Guy's now got an afternoon free to enjoy Las Vegas. He's heading out with the other two members of the Crazy Horse team. Paul Beamish and Stuart Eckersley have used their American contacts to sort some bikes.
I'd have rather have been in the shed getting my hands mucky, but why not, eh? We're in Vegas. And it's great. What a life.
Britney Spears is doing Vegas then. I don't know if that was like Take That doing Blackpool or something. They'd be scraping the barrel if they did that.
Everything around you is just adverts and flashing lights and buses with adverts on them. It's just amazing. People are coming here for a holiday.
We took him to Fremont Street, yeah. That was, yeah, some interesting people.
I've got it.
Use the force.
Use the force? Where's the force?
Every few feet, there's somebody on the street entertaining you, or trying to.
Activate me.
Activate me.
Does he live in Vegas? Is that what he does? Or has he come to Vegas on holiday? Was he on holiday, or is this his job? He was on summits, that's right, he was.
What a place. I'm a bit shell-shocked, really.
Every corner you turn, there's something where you just go, what? Everything.
It is something to see. It's something to see, but it's not for me.
The next morning, Guy leaves Las Vegas and heads for the workshop where his van is. After working through the night, Dan and the Radical Racing team think they have fixed all the outstanding issues. They've added even stiffer suspension springs to try and improve the van's handling, upgraded the fuel pumps to overcome the fuel supply issue, and most importantly, they've changed the rear axle ratio. They think this means the van will now continue accelerating once Guy gets up into 6th gear. They've also fitted a fancy new racing clutch.
We managed to find a twin plate clutch for a Shelby 5-litre Mustang, which is good for 1,000 Newton metres of torque, which is perfect. It's what we should have had in the first place, really.
With so many changes made, they must test the van at speed before the race.
We couldn't run it in the race without testing it first, just from a safety point of view.
But they have nowhere to do that testing, as they'd always planned to have the van totally finished before leaving the UK. And finding somewhere is now crucial. With no testing, there will be no racing.
We didn't know if the clutch was going to be all right. We didn't know if it was going to be fast enough, because everything we'd done beforehand, the van wasn't fast enough.
Guy and the team load the van and set off on the 6-hour drive north to Ely, where the race will start.
Big drive, yeah, through some amazing countryside. You know, it's where we first got a feel for what the race was going to be like. These long straights, sweeping roads. You could really see that there was some speed to be done on the roads.
En route, they get some very welcome news.
We found a 1.5 mile airfield. Is that okay?
That's great. That is great, isn't it?
They have a place to test the van in a town called Eureka.
What a place. Yeah, just a bit ramshackle, just American like bloody old cowboy town. Right out in the sticks, proper. Well, it really out in the sticks. Yeah, it was great. It was just upside of there. We used the airfield up there. It's only 1.5 miles long.
It is a bit of a Wild West, isn't it? It's not quite Lincolnshire, to be honest. It's not quite. It's nice, but it's not quite Lincolnshire.
The managers of Eureka Airport, John Walsall and his wife Vincy, have agreed to let Guy use the runway free of charge while they go to the shops.
They've let us borrow the runway. They said, you've got a radio, haven't you? Yeah, we've got a radio. Right, well, radio if we think a plane's coming, because some of the pilots round here haven't even got radios. So he says, keep your eye out for a plane landing. All right. So I'm going to be going down there at, hopefully, 160. Got to keep my eye out for planes. But great.
Everyone has their fingers crossed for this test.
Yeah, keep going.
It needs to go well.
You're off.
It was just so exciting. Heat haze and dust coming off the tyres, it's impressive. It was just amazing.
The van is running well, but there are still problems with the all-important sixth gear.
Yeah, skip in sixth. You can't get it in sixth.
You can't get it.
We're going to have a look at that.
While Guy is now getting plenty of power in sixth, he's finding it very difficult to actually select it.
Gears. Not perfect.
No, I think you can just...
You can just get it into sixth.
Every other time you get it clean into sixth.
And the turbos are overheating in the desert temperatures.
There's so much heat. When the turbos are on boost, the manifolds are glowing red. They're really, really hot. It's quite hot.
If the turbos badly overheat, it could cause catastrophic damage. They cut the grill off the van to hopefully increase cooling airflow.
Which did improve it a little bit. I didn't think that mesh could make that much difference, but it really did.
Despite the ongoing problems with sixth gear, Eureka goes down as a success.
Eureka was a Eureka moment. It boosted us up because we'd had this amazingly quick build. We didn't have a brilliant day at Bruntingthorpe. We then had to ship it here quickly, and then suddenly at Eureka, just about everything all came together.
The final question is whether the van is fast enough for the 150 miles per hour class in the race.
Ran it up and down, up and down. I think I got it to 147 mile an hour. You know, it still wasn't long enough to get it flat out, and it still felt like it was accelerating at 147, but I wasn't that sure.
To be competitive in the 150 class, the van must ideally be capable of going over 160 miles per hour.
Yeah. I think I've got to ask myself, is there another 15 mile an hour in it?
But it's pulling in sixth now.
Yes.
And
it will get to 150.
And it'll get to 150.
It will get to 150, but will it get to 160?
Yeah. Hard risk going in the 150 class because you'll get it up to 160.
It's risky, but that's what we're about.
If we go for 140, Guy.
Yes.
We know it's going to do it easily.
Yeah, go on, let's go a bit risky then.
So I think we've got to go for 150.
Yeah. Give it a spin, see, it'll be right. What's the worst can happen?
Decision made. They leave Eureka Airport and get back on the road to Ely, where the race will start. After a short local hold-up. For the first time since they landed in the States, the team are now confident they'll be on the start line in 2 days' time. Guy Martin is in the small town of Ely, Nevada. He's here to drive in the fastest road race on Earth, and he wants to be the first person to do it in a transit van. Today, along with all of his competitors, Guy's taking part in a parade down Main Street, then a car show in the town's park. And despite being surrounded by a stunning array of supercars, his van's the centre of attention wherever he goes. After the car show, Guy and his team of mechanics from Crazy Horse Customs, Paul, Stuart and Dan, have a bit of downtime.
Once the testing had been done, we were happy that on race day the van would perform. So we thought, right, let's leave the van alone, let's get out And seeing as we're in Nevada, let's go to a casino.
I think everyone in the team's first time, we decided we'd play a bit of blackjack.
Yeah, I was interested. I'm not a gambler at all, you see.
Get $5.
Minimum bet on the table is $3, and one player is sticking firmly to that stake.
Now you want to wave me off?
Guy decided, I think, that, you know, prudence was the way forward and would only do the minimum bet each time.
All right, gentlemen, good luck.
He agonised over every single card.
I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I mean, I'm not that bloody quick, really, so I had to try to add up to 21 all the time.
You could tell within the actual gambling hall. I don't think they'd ever seen anything quite like this.
Come on, let's go for it.
No, I'm just very cautious. I'm just very cautious.
If it wasn't so air-conditioned, he'd have been sweat pouring off, and the concentration...
She's got to go home one. I know. Come on, let's have it.
17. Everybody wins.
Top lass. We're on the money here.
With his ultra-cautious approach, after 30 minutes, Guy is the only player with any chips left.
It's just me and you then, lass?
Yes.
Right.
This is going to be a long game.
We are going to be here in a minute or two, aren't we?
That's just fine.
There we go.
That's just fine.
There we go. Look at this, boys, eh?
It's a go.
The next morning, it's back to business. And still worried about the van overheating, the team work on cutting away even more of the van's bodywork to increase airflow. Today, Guy needs to concentrate on his role as driver, and he won't be racing alone. To hit a perfect average speed, he'll need a navigator alongside him. Luckily, one of the Open Road Challenger's most successful ever navigators, John Putnam, has agreed to ride with Guy.
Nice to meet you, boy.
Yeah,
You're
nice
right.
to meet you.
Right, you're the man when it comes to navigating, I've been told.
I guess I am.
John's the man. He's loads of experience in the event.
Frank McKinnon contacted me. He's the race director and also my uncle, and the guy I navigated for. He said that there were some crazy guys out of England looking for a navigator to do the Silver State, so it's ended up my alley.
Get cracking.
Let's go.
Guy's van isn't road legal, so John's borrowed his Uncle Frank's Ford Mustang for a recce of the 90-mile course. John and his uncle set the nearest to perfect time ever achieved in the race. Just 1/1000th of a second off perfection. Today, though, they won't be going at race speed.
If you get caught for speeding in the month leading up to the Silver State Classic, you're disqualified from the event.
They won't be trying to hit an average speed either. It's for Guy to properly see the course, and for John to program a rally odometer computer with the precise distances. In the race, he'll use the computer to keep them on track for a perfect time.
The idea is that we're going to cross the finish line at exactly an average speed of 150 miles an hour. On a 90-mile course translates into 36 minutes exactly. So the idea is to come in 36 minutes, .00000.
The computer calculates speed by recording every revolution of the vehicle's wheels. And when programmed, it'll give Guy and John a constant reading of how many seconds they are above or below the perfect time. To program his computer, John needs to know the exact size of the vehicle's tyres. However, at race speed, they may expand. Over 90 miles, just a 1 millimetre change in the tyre's diameter would mean a 3.27-second difference in the overall time. Not doing the recce in Guy's van means John doesn't know how much its tyres might expand, making his job on race day much harder.
Just pull up just a hair when you go.
35 miles south of Ely, they pull up exactly on the start line, so John can zero his computer.
It's just there.
A little more, we'll get it right to me here.
Yeah?
Yep, go.
Right.
From a standing start, it'll take a good few miles for Guy to accelerate up to 150.
We'd still be accelerating at this point, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
So then, to bring his average up, he'll need to keep accelerating well past 150.
Like right now, our required speed would be 162.
Yeah.
But his class has a strict upper speed limit.
But I don't want to be going any faster than 164.
165. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what the required speed is.
The class also has a minimum speed limit for most of the course of 125 miles per hour. Going too fast or too slow means disqualification, but only if you get caught by a speed trap.
We're in this straight here. This is the 12-mile straight.
Right, 12 miles straight. So what would you be doing at this stage then? Say by this time, what are we, 15 miles in, we've got to 0, so we're at the perfect 0. Do we want to be putting time in the bag now?
I think we want to have time in the bank. A good 24 seconds at the nearest.
Guy and John's plan is to build up a time buffer on the big straights so they can cope with any surprises that come their way and still hit a perfect average.
Yeah, that's a fair uphill there, isn't it?
Yeah, and it might even be that we want to have a little, we'll have some in the bank for things like this. So I'll write that down. So here's our right sweeper, double apex.
The main reason they must have time in the bank is for when they reach the Narrows, a series of tight bends 70 miles into the course. Guy will have to drop well below 100 miles per hour to get through the Narrows, and that's going to drag his average speed right down.
Are the majority of crashes in the Narrows then?
No, they've had some places, some weird crashes in weird places.
Through a tyre block?
Yeah, I think tyre blocks.
Is that the main cause?
Yeah, I think so, tires usually.
After the Narrows, there are just 18 miles left to the finish line.
Yeah, is that a finish line there where that camera is?
Yeah, I don't know, but we want to slow to a crawl here, I think, in a second.
Stopping exactly on the finish line allows John to complete the calibration of his timing computer. Next time they pass this spot, it should be at around 150 miles per hour. The night before the race, Guy and the team attend a slightly peculiar tradition of the Open Road Challenge.
It was a car show, but with some different judges from the normal sort of judges you get at car shows.
The show is at a bar called the Stardust Ranch.
The lasses called it the cat house. The lads called it the whore house. I just call it a knocking shop.
All the race cars line up outside. And the girls that work there, they look around the cars.
This is the beautiful aerodynamics.
They sit in them and they sort of, they check them out and they give a prize to which one they think is best.
Up for grabs is this, the Hooker's Choice Award.
It's a trophy made of the very, very best plastic.
Lassie's just dressed in undercrackers, looking at me van, and one wanted to sit in it. I said, go on, lass, and she just for the van. I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. What's happening?
Not much.
Busy enough?
Busy enough, yeah.
Oh, what are you doing? What am I doing? Just the rabbit in the headlights.
Well, I loved that it was a van.
It's definitely different, something I've never seen before.
After the judges have taken a look at all the cars and had time to deliberate, the winner is announced by awards organiser Barry Lohman.
In first place, one of the least likeliest vehicles in the 150-mile-an-hour class on Sunday. In the black Ford Transit van, all the way, good old England, Tigers and Ash.
And we won it. I mean, it was amazing.
The van was voted as the best vehicle there.
Guy, though, is unable to accept the award. He's fast asleep in the winning vehicle.
Hooker's choice, eh? Hooker's choice. But we won. But it's a transit van, of course it's going to win.
Question is, can it win tomorrow? When Guy attempts to drive it across a desert for 90 miles at speeds up to 165 miles per hour. Today, Guy Martin will compete in the world's fastest road race.
Only in America, eh? Only in America. I think there's a catch on in Grimsby.
Guy is competing in his own transit van. A van has never entered in this race before, and just 5 months ago, his was a crumpled write-off.
If you'd have said to me then, right, look, here's your van that you love, that's your pride and joy, but you'll write it off and it'll get turned into this, I'd have probably said, yeah, I'll have that. I'll have that. That's all right, that, yeah.
Alongside Guy will be his navigator, John Putnam. He has 13 Nevada races under his belt and has won it 8 times. Their competition is formidable.
Some of these cars are amazing. And then there's this Transit sticking out like a sore thumb. There was a Lamborghini Diablo in front of it, and it's like a third of its height.
Racing begins bang on 8 a.m. As Guy's start time approaches, the team are tense.
I'm a fairly calm person, but I was chewing fingers and stuff. You know, it could have got up to the first mile and just broken.
We're on it, mate.
The biggest concern is whether Guy will be able to select 6th gear, the gear he'll rely on most throughout the race. The team hope they've fixed that issue, but their fix might now cause problems selecting other gears.
50 seconds.
What am I thinking? I'm thinking, don't set off the line like a madman.
30 seconds.
You could spin the tyres, fry the clutch, break the prop shaft. You could do something stupid off the line when there's no need to.
So we've got a left bend over the crest into a 3-mile straight.
It's a 90-mile race. Don't go mad off the line.
But he pulled off in first, it sounded pretty good, and then he went for second. And missed second. And he went for second again and missed it again. I was just like, oh, just put it in third, just put it in third.
Guy finally gets second and carefully moves up through the other gears.
And it was still going as it went out of sight, so I was fairly happy then.
I got into top gear and then started accelerating.
It's now crunch time.
I was a bit nervous, But I just thought, is he going to do the speeds?
They've entered the 150 miles per hour class without the van having ever achieved that speed. Incredibly, in just 60 seconds from a standing start, Guy's 3-year-old Transit van hits 150. And it's still accelerating.
158 miles an hour. 164 miles an hour.
And then the next thing, I know, John's having to slow it down because we're nearly 170 miles an hour.
Tap it down. How's it feel?
Good.
Okay, now we're at 160 right now, so that's great.
You're happy?
Yeah, I'm happy, yeah.
They're now covering the length of 3 tennis courts every second.
Once we got through that first couple of corners, we realized, oh, this is going to do it. Do a good job.
160 mile an hour in a Transit van, no problem. Genuinely no problem. No problem at all.
Now for Guy, it's all about keeping it on the road. For John and his rally clock, it's about keeping them on pace to hit the perfect average speed.
Coming to a right-hand sweeper.
All the temperatures are good.
Okay. Got a 7-mile straight after this. Doing pretty good at 160.
Yeah, I'm only just touching the throttle, so it's not working it hard.
There's nothing to register your speed off because it's just vast open spaces. Miles and miles of nothingness.
How's it feeling through the curves?
a little wallowy, if not a fair bit wallowy. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a little wobbly. You can feel it.
You can feel the same as me. Okay, that's good then.
When you go around the fast corners, it does feel like a ship at sea. And John was a bit uneasy, as I was.
It's kind of different being up this high when you're in the corner.
Yeah.
"56 miles into the event.
Okay. Temperatures and pressures all good.
And our tyre pressures are looking good.
The van was pretty perfect. The van never missed a beat. The tyre pressures went up and stayed there. All the temperatures went up and stayed there. Perfect.
65 miles into the 90-mile race, they're approaching the most technical and dangerous part of the course.
Got less than 10 minutes to go.
Coming into the narrows soon, are we?
Yeah, we are.
Guy'll have to slow right down for the narrows. So they've built up a time buffer to keep on schedule for a 150 average.
37 in the back. Shall I ease off now?
Yeah, we probably should, yeah.
With so little testing, they've no idea at what speed the van can handle the tighter section.
I don't think it's as low as 70 through the narrows, but it's not going to be much more, is it?
No.
You can feel that.
John's computer shows their time buffer at 36 seconds. If Guy drives through the narrows at 75 miles per hour, John's calculations say they should come out the other end on time.
Left turn into a right, right into a short straight. Short straight to a right turn. Right turn into a left. Long one, left turn into a left into a second left, exiting the canyon. And we're out of here.
Perfect.
They emerge safely from the narrows, and the computer says they're almost bang on schedule.
And we're good. We lost a second. We're a second down. So we've got 6 miles.
In a van that nearly didn't make it to the start line, on a course Guy has never driven at speed before, they're now approaching the finish line on schedule and in contention.
Is that the finish down there?
Yep, we're almost there.
But John spots a problem.
We've got some time up here, I think.
Are we?
Yeah.
While Guy's readout shows him just a second off a perfect time, John realises that the van's tyres have expanded much more than he'd made allowance for, so his calibration for the last 90 miles has been wrong. He quickly recalculates and reprograms his computer. They're massively off target.
We might have a lot of time up, actually.
What shall I do?
Slow it down.
Brake?
Yeah, we can't go much slower. We're lowering our tech speed now, so.
They cross the line 8 seconds ahead of a perfect time, but Guy's reaction is relief.
Wait, we survived.
We did.
We survived, mate.
Yeah, it did make it. It's good.
I'm impressed he's making it.
We hit the line at 0, but there was a slight calibration issue.
Well, what do you reckon happened with the time there, then?
But I was having to adjust up with the clock after we did the tyre pressure change. So
Right. Is that what it is?
There was a long jump between adjustments.
You know, because the tyres expand, and you can't account for that. John hadn't had experience with that, his equipment in that van to get the time perfect.
Thank you very much, mate.
Hey, thank you. It was a blast.
Let's give him a big hand.
Back at the start, they're just relieved to hear that the van's finished safely.
Guy, Martin, John Putnam has crossed the finish line without incident.
Oh, yes. We found out he'd actually gone too fast. which is a great way of losing, really.
The winner in Guy's class was Robert Wood. In his Ultima GTR, he got within 1/100th of a second of the perfect time. Guy came 14th.
That's as good as we could do. And we still averaged 150 mile an hour. We just averaged 150.7 mile an hour. We've done the job, the van's done the job.
Well, where else in the world can you do that?
Road down here. No, it was fun.
Where else can you do that?
Yeah, definitely. Well done, mate.
You know, I have to say what a fantastic job Dan, Stuart and the team have done in converting that.
I think that's it now. Pack in the bike. I'm going van racing.
We went there to run in the most competitive high-speed class against supercars. And we did with a transit van, and it was Guy's transit van.
Still got me thinking about it. You've got a badge in the back. Yeah. Hey, in the van.
Spent the last 6 months of my life just going to work and building a race car. How cool is that?
Thank you. Thank you. It's been an experience. A mad Englishman coming over in a work van. Yeah. It is fast. It's not just fast for a van, it is fast.
It's just incredible.
It's been an experience.
Yeah, it was a fun ride.
What's not to love?
But there's not another one of those in Lincolnshire. Would you? You wouldn't reckon, would you? It's fast. Yeah, he pissed it, didn't he, really?
Well, that's it from Guy for now, but if you fancy watching his time trial in real time, get yourself over to All4 right now and fill your boots. More is never enough though next here tonight, a network premiere you won't mind being late for work for tomorrow. Leonardo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill star in The Wolf of Wall Street.